Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Now season 33 is slowly coming to a close. I believe this is video Ward 10 and it's a rematch against PALO. We matched PALO at the 4th Ward of the season and we did actually take the W there, and this time again it was once more very competitive close war, and once more I didn't have too many fights, so this is going to be a relatively brief video. But there is definitely going to be something noteworthy happening there. Either way, my team is Archangel, Nimrod, and Falcon. I am going to be taking path 3 in section 1, and it only has the one fight. And I'm just going to be nuking down with Archangel. Now, Archangel is a metal champion, however, his ability accuracy cannot be reduced, and therefore he still works perfectly fine against Magneto. There isn't going to be much issue about that. For those of you who did not know, Archangel can nuke down Magneto's just a-okay. Magneto still gets his magnetized benefits in these fights, but the most important one, the ability accuracy reduction, isn't working on Archangel. And even though Magneto is 90 or 80% bleed immune, or however many percent it was, that's not important, because you're going to be dealing your damage via neurotoxins mainly. So it is not, quote-unquote super safe fight in the sense that Archangel doesn't have that shock immunity or anything else that kind of like directly deals with this node. But here we're going to see that it's going to go just fine. So second heavy attack, we have 1 neuro on the guy, dropping another heavy attack. Unfortunately, we didn't have poisons there. We get 1 here. Sweet, I have 3 neuros. He's at 70%, and that also has stopped the node, so he's not going to get to an armor up. And now we're just going to go for 1 more heavy attack, and the fight's over in there about a minute plus minus, so very quick, hardly any damage taken, and quick and efficient win there. Now the next fight actually isn't going to go all that well for me, and that is going to be one of those RNG fights. It's eventually going to work out just fine. I do have Magneto House Effects prefind placed for me, so I can parry safely here and ignore the masochism. Obviously I still have to contend with masochism because of the fact that I need to place my bleeds and everything else. Here we can see, however, that after 2 heavy attacks, I haven't really placed any neuros or even bleeds there, and I already have a shock on me. And he's at 5, 6, 7 furies. So there I made a mistake, but I kind of corrected myself by throwing that level 1, so I didn't get punished by it. That could have been ward there. Now here I need to be careful of that unstoppable, because he's unstoppable armor defender, so he doesn't have his own natural armor procs, but he does have the node that gives him an armor up, and then he can proc it still every 15 seconds. But here we can see that slowly but surely the fight goes down. Now this fight was kind of like worse than it ought to be. This was one of those examples of me not just getting lucky with the RNG at all, but luckily my only kind of damage there was, a bit of shock damage taken. It could have went sideways very quickly though, if I had made a mistake with the passive unstoppable whilst he had like 10 furies, because then he would have laid into me very hard, and I would get him KO'd if he kind of had a combo on me. And now in section 2, I just need to deal with this Apocalypse first, and we do have Nimrod for that. And then I'm going to have a Thing fight. However, that Thing fight, well, we're going to get to it again in a second. So this Apocalypse fight, I have done multiple times. The strategy here is actually relatively simple. Now, typically I do have Liquid Courage Double Edge active, and I know that I can nuke down my opponent with 1 level 2, which isn't going to be quite the case this time around. In order to win this fight, it's very simple. You just want to kind of wait out that stunning reflection timer and make sure that you can parry freely. And the best way to do that is just hit Apox block. And now at this point, I want to switch back to my Titan protocol, get in a couple more parries for armor ups. Unfortunately, I didn't do that here. I don't really need to be too bothered about the disorients, because they don't reduce my ability accuracy. They increase the block damage, but they don't reduce the ability accuracy. Still, I kind of stood still there to get rid of a few of them. And now once again, I just need to wait out the stunning reflection, which is fine. I have 10 charges, so I'm gonna go now for my level 2 on, my Eradicate protocol. And I lied, that level 2 still pretty much finishes it off. So 1 level 2 is all it takes. Big apocalypse, but not big enough. So then my teammate took down that Penny Parker, and I had to deal with a thing there on path 7. This thing fight, and this is actually funny because we talked about it. I knew what I was going to do, and I had a clear plan. I also knew that aspect of evolution messes with Falcon's lock-on. I knew that he can gain a charge. The plan is very simple. Boost up hard, skill power boost, and power stat 1. Get to level 2, drop it, get back bar of power and plus, and get another level 2, drop it, and finish off the fight quickly. However, there's going to be a silly error, which reminded me of something that I'm going to comment. I don't want to shift the blame for what happens here to anybody else. Here I have triggered lock on, wonderful, and I'm going in for a full combo. I'm going to parry another full combo, but it's also important to note the power bar there. So I knew that I had enough space to drop my level 2 and everything's perfect. And here he just catches me. He drops 2 mediums, both of whom crit, by the way. And he gets level 3. That was the mistake. And that's the fight done. Because he caught me and dashed back. And, you know, in my head, I could have sworn that I did dash back twice. And it didn't just register the second dash. It was a bad decision not to bait out that level 2 before my level 2. It definitely was a bad decision not to bait out that level 2 before my level 2. Therefore, you know, I fully accept the fault, blame, guilt, and everything else for dying here. I should have just baited it out. But I didn't. And here he just catched me and dashed back. I did, however, after this fight, remove the input beta, which I had accidentally left on. And I am quite sure that in the same situation, I would have managed to escape with a double dash back before then. But either way, my mistake, bad decision. Then one mistake that, again, inevitably just leads to me dying here. I try to dance in the corner as much as I can, but he catches me, and that's it. And that's level 3 and me done. So unfortunately, I do get KO'd in this fight. A silly death. So that plan went to shit. Yeah, well, the plan was good. The plan was good because I got back over the bar of power, and I only needed to, you know, get another 75% of bar and drop level 2, and the fight would have been over. But I should have baited out that level 2. I should have baited out that level 2. So here I revive and heal back up my Falcon, and I still have the power stat 1 boost active, and then I just need to go in and finish off the fight. Now, I didn't heal 100% to full because I'm at only 77%, but I also knew that it will not affect this fight in any matter because here, for sure, only thing I have to do is get to level 2 and be done with it. Now, in this fight, he immediately throws his special attack as well, which was, you know, both of those, which was a nice change, but whatever. And here we are, and that is the end of my war. So, again, definitely wasn't a great war. Luckily, by that point, we already had good enough lead for me not to kind of be absolutely stressed out of my pants because, you know, the war was not put in jeopardy of losing because of that. But it is what it is, and again, unfortunately, I did screw up, and again, whether that caught on dashback is or is not the input beta's fault, and I'm gonna, you know, again, it doesn't matter. I made a bad decision by not baiting out that level 2, so I'm still at the end of the day responsible for that death 100%. But here are the war stats, so unfortunately I died again. I was having a nice clean streak, but here I ruined it. And I wouldn't have had to use any health potions in this war, but I ended up using 3 health potions. And here for this one, I actually, well, I don't want to mark, well, I guess I'm going to mark it in here, but it doesn't really amount for any loyalty cost, really, because it's free, but whichever. And here we can see that I have spent 97,000 loyalty on this war for healing up. I only used 1 set of power boosts, 1 invul, 1 advanced power, just 34,000 loyalty. So at the moment, I have used 875,000 loyalty with 2 wards remaining. So we're going to be finishing around there about 1 million loyalty, most likely, for the season. And Archangel is still running away as my most used champion, I think, for the season. Largely because of that one war where I had 7 fights with Archangel and then consecutive war with 4 fights with Archangel. Overall, I must say this is a fairly low fight season for me. I typically do get more fights than that, but it's also kind of good and convenient this time around because there's a lot happening around with me in personal life, so I'm quite happy that I don't have to do too many fights. But I do want to make sure that I have a much busier season going forward. But that also kind of falls on what kind of rank 4 champions you have, obviously, and stuff like that, because typically you try to delegate rank 4s now for attack for top tier wars. At the moment, New Nation is still in 3rd place with about 3 or 4 alliances having pretty much same win to loss ratio. So we absolutely cannot afford to lose if we want to maintain our 3rd spot in the season. And it's going to be very interesting to see who we face in the last 2 wars, because that's also obviously going to be a huge factor on how we finish the season. I don't think it's possible for us to fall out of top 10, so there is that. But obviously we are still trying our best to get to top 3, and we are in 3rd position, so hopefully we can maintain that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and my silly death as well. And all that being said, I'm going to catch you guys later. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the